Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, the Popthusiast. I am Paul, and in this video, I'm going to be sharing my top 10 Funko Pops of 2021, along with some honorable mentions. I meant to post this video before mid-January, but I got sick, and some of my family and everything got sick, so that put things off a little bit. So excited to get this video completed and posted. Hope you enjoy it. Compare it to other people's top 10 list, and let me know what you think in the comments. So let's get into it. So there were so many awesome Funko Pops and just Funko items that came out this year in 2021, even though for the most part in a lot of other categories, 2021 kind of sucked in many ways. But Funko Pops definitely did not. And so there was so many to choose from that I actually have a pretty large honorable mention list, and maybe that's cheating. I really don't care. But I didn't want to not mention some of these Pops on this list. And some of these probably would be in my top 10 if I was a fan of that franchise or that character or something like that. These are Pops that I did not necessarily go after myself in many cases, and so they were outside of my top 10. But still very valid, awesome Pops that should be in a video like this. So before I reveal the first one, I do want to say this video is sponsored by Mercari, the selling app where you can buy and sell pretty much anything. Check out my video if you haven't already that I just posted of some loose Grail Funko Pops that I found on Mercari for really cheap. So check that out if you haven't already. Okay, so first up on the honorable mentions list, I don't have this Pop in hand, and this is one of the reasons why it's in the honorable mentions. I passed on it when it came out in the recent Festival of Fun release. So this is from Dungeons and Dragons, the dragon Tiamat. So if you look at this Pop, it is absolutely beautiful. The way that they have this multi-headed dragon together, all these different details, each head is a different color, and the colors don't overshadow one another. It's just really a nicely done Pop. I did not purchase it when it came out, and I'm regretting that a little bit. I don't usually collect Dungeons and Dragons Pops. I have a few, and this one, for the price tag when it came out, I think it was $30 to $35 as a convention exclusive deluxe Pop. I passed on it because I had a bunch of other ones that I wanted first. So I don't have this one, but maybe I'll pick it up at some point. But Tiamat, one of the best Pops of the year in my opinion, but I don't have it. I don't really collect that line, so it's in my honorable mentions. Next up, another honorable mention. This time I do have this, and so as a category, I'm kind of including, and again, I don't care if this is cheating, but the Pop Rock album line, and specifically the newest albums that they've been doing, like this, where they include the entire band, or at least most of the band, in this album type setup. Really awesome idea, very creative on Funko's part. How the characters just kind of sit and they're glued in there in front of the album. And then there's the album cover to the side. So I did get a bunch of these from Walmart. These were Walmart exclusives of the bands that I liked. So insert favorite band, you know, for whatever you want. But those Funko Pop albums are really neat, and those were in this type of fashion with the whole band introduced in 2021. So they make the honorable mention list. The next Pop is an anime line that I don't really collect, but you cannot deny how awesome the Pop is and just the way that they put this together. So we have Itachi with crows, which is a box lunch exclusive. The way that they had the mold for this Pop, where the crows are looking like it's circling around the Pop, but the actual crows are attached to the figure, but you wouldn't necessarily know it if you just were glancing at it. Just really nicely done, and it just looks really neat. I don't have this Pop. I passed on it, of course. I don't collect any of the Itachis, but couldn't deny the awesomeness of this Pop, and I know it's very popular, so it makes the honorable mention list. Similarly, along the same lines of the anime, this Ichigo chase with the mask on is just so awesome. If I came upon it, I might pick it up at some point, but I'm not going to pay out second market price for it because it's not a line that I collect, but I know it's a must-have for a lot of anime collectors, and just the way that they did this mold and how the mask looks and the detail, it just looks really awesome. So I've included this in my honorable mention list. And last but not least of the honorable mentions, the reason why this is not in the top 10 is because it's not technically a Pop. It is and it isn't. So this is the die-cast Batman. So this is the only die-cast that I have picked up. I've passed on the Captain America, Iron Man, and Wonder Woman die-casts. I'm a huge Batman fan, and so I figured I'd give this one a shot, and I'm happy that I did. This is a very solid, nicely done die-cast figure, and it looks exactly like a Pop. And for me, the actual box, the kind of see-through with the artwork and everything on this outer casing is really what does it for me as far as a display. And so when you display this and you set it out, it looks so awesome, so neat. So if this were an actual Funko Pop and not a die-cast, part of the die-cast line, it would be in the top 10, but since it's not, it is in the honorable mention list for 2021. Okay, so let's get into the actual top 10 Funko Pop list. So first up at number 10, we have a long sought after pop of mine. I was hoping that they were going to do this version of this character soon because we've had some other versions of the character. We have the comic book version of Taskmaster. So Taskmaster, one of the greatest supervillains of all time. If you don't know who Taskmaster is, he basically has the ability to copycat and mimic any kind of an athletic or fighting style, and can pretty much do anything he sees. And so he's just an awesome character. This pop is just by far the best looking Taskmaster. So he does not come with a stand, but he has this classic kind of tannish and blue and orange and white outfit. So it just like really comes together really well. The shield is awesome. He's got the sword out. He's got the classic comic-y Taskmaster skull face and the hood. So this by far is my favorite Taskmaster. Was very happy that they came out with this. So number 10, we have the comic book version of Taskmaster. So number 9, we're going to switch from Marvel to DC. So this is the only, this is one of 2 DC Pops that are in this lineup. So this is from the movie that came out in 2021 from Suicide Squad. This is the character King Shark. So this guy really stole the show for me, not only in the movie, but just the character, and his rework in that movie has now carried over to the comic books. So he's not just a aggressive, violent villain anymore. He does have a little bit of depth to him and is kind of this cutish, character. And I like it. I think it goes really well. It's a really nice remake of the character. And this pop really captures the innocent but deadly essence of him. Why is he wearing these shorts? I don't know. Number 9 on the list is King Shark. Okay, number 8 on the list is from Disney. And so this pop, when it first came out, I passed on it. But I've since picked it up when it restocked, and I'm really glad I did, because I don't usually go after glow-in-the-dark pops. But this pop that's just an added bonus for me, that this glows in the dark really well. But it's just so well made. From the Disney movie Coco, we have the ALEBRIJE Dante, I think is how you pronounce it. So just look at how awesome this figure is with all the colors and just very kind of fantastical creature. So Coco was a phenomenal movie, and so I'm glad that they're adding to that line. We do have the original 3 characters from the Coco movie. So here is the dog figure from that movie. Just look at the paint job on him, and just the one ear up, one ear down, the tongue is hanging out, the colors, they don't really clash, but there's just so many different bright colors on him. It's just really an awesome pop. And I'm usually not a fan of animal Funko Pops. They all kind of look the same. They kind of have that same features to it, but this one does not. So this one had to make the list. So at number 8, we have the ALEBRIJE Dante. Okay, at number 7, this is an anime pop, and this is a deluxe pop. So when this was announced, I knew I had to get it. I have the rest of this line from Avatar, and this is just so well done. We have Aang in the Avatar state. So I know that there's also a glow-in-the-dark version, which is equally awesome, but I don't do glow-in-the-dark really, so I just wanted to get one of these versions. So here's the actual pop out of the box. So we have Aang here enclosed in the kind of elemental sphere with both water and fire circling around him. It comes with this little stand. Just an amazing pop. He's in kind of a running motion as well. So just very unique, and honestly, I mean, Funko's really creative, but this year they really brought it. They really brought it with the creativity. At number 7, making the list, we have Aang in the Avatar state. Just look at how cool that looks next to the other pops too. Okay, at number 6, we're going back to Marvel. And when this came out in during one of the conventions during the year, it was my favorite pop of that convention. I mentioned that in the video of that convention haul that I got. So this is just an awesome pop. It is a very limited storyline that hasn't really resurfaced since. It just kind of was in the 90s. But here we have the Amazon exclusive Cap Wolf. So this is where Captain America actually becomes a wolf for about 2 or 3 issues. and then returns back to normal. But just so awesome that they did a pop like this. It really speaks to the uniqueness and the depth of what Funko's willing to do with comic book characters and storylines. And so this pop, just up close, you know, here we have Captain America with the werewolf face. He's got fur coming out, ripping out of his outfit. He's still got the shield and everything. So only 5 more pops to go. Wonder what they are. So you will find out in a second. But so far we've got a couple Marvel, a Disney, a DC, and an anime pop. So next at number 5, this is actually a pop ride. And so I did think a little bit about not including a pop ride in a top 10 list of pops for the year because it's kind of different, but it is a pop, and I could have done maybe the top the top pop ride of the year or whatever, but this would have been that. So anyway, it is the Walmart exclusive She-Ra on her horse Swiftwind. So Masters of the Universe, those that know me or that have seen my other videos know that Masters of the Universe is one of, if not my favorite lines that Funko makes. And I have almost all the Funko Pops, even a lot of the older grails that are hard to find. And so when they announced this, I immediately pre-ordered it from Walmart. It took forever to get here, but it did finally arrive, did not get canceled. Here she is out of the box. So She-Ra on Swiftwind. So we got the wings out on this Pegasus type horse. Her hair is kind of flowing in the back as if the wind is blowing it backwards. You know, she's got her sword pointing out like she's riding and flying into battle. The only down mark I would have with this pop is just the pink of the horse. So the pink of the horse is a little bit kind of plain all the way through, and it just doesn't really pop that much. But it's She-Ra on her horse. So I gotta overlook that for this list. It's just really awesome whenever they come out with a She-Ra pop. So here is She-Ra and Swiftwind, number 5 on the top 10 list. Okay, number 4 is another deluxe pop again, and it's also another Marvel pop. So this time from the What If series, which was okay, but this pop definitely makes up for it. We have the Doctor Strange Supreme Unleashed Funko Pop. So this is an awesome pop. So let's get this out of the box to really do it justice. So here is Doctor Strange, not as you would expect him to look, but in the What If series, the cartoon Disney Plus series, this is what he looks like in this alternate universe. So just look at all the colors and the detail on this. Even when you turn it around, he is still a bobblehead, even though it doesn't really bobble that well with the wings in the back. But here's the back. So just the purple and the green, and just all the other different colors. You would think that they would kind of clash, but they don't. So just really nicely made, pretty hefty pop for a 6-inch deluxe pop, but had to be on this list. So Doctor Strange Supreme Unleashed, number 4. Okay, at number 3, we're back in the DC world, if you can't tell kind of what some of my favorite lines are. So in this was a pop that just recently came out the last couple months of the year, and I was very happy to be able to snag this. So from the Batman animated series, which is one of my favorite cartoons of all time, we have the LA Comic-Con exclusive animated Two-Face. So I'm so happy that they're adding more pops to this animated series line. We have all the other ones, and so this one was a must-have for me. And the way that they did this pop just is so awesome. It's just so awesome. So here he is out of box. It just perfectly captures the cartoon look of that Two-Face, where his kind of monster face pops out with the yellow and the kind of palish green. And, they got the white and black hair that kind of cross over with the white and black suit. He's got the grimace on his face, and he's got his coin in the monster hand. So just absolutely fantastic pop that could not be passed up. I do feel like the value on this is going to go up. All the Batman animated series pops are fairly in demand, and this one will not be any different. So there's number 3. So there's 2 pops left. One is a regular size pop, and the other one is a deluxe. So coming in at number 2, we have from another one of my favorite lines, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So this takes me back to childhood. It's a nostalgia thing. Plus, they did an awesome job on this pop. We have the 6-inch KRANG. So you might think to yourself, did this come out in 2021? And it did. It was an Entertainment Earth exclusive, kind of earlier on in the year. And you could pre-order it, I think, in 2020, but it actually released in 2021. So I had to include this on the list. I had to get some sort of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle item on this top 10 list. So this is one of those pops where, you know, you're thinking to yourself, you know, I wish they would make a KRANG pop. That would be awesome, in addition to Slash, which they haven't done yet. But they did finally make the KRANG pop. It came out beautifully. It makes sense that it's a 6-inch pop. I would love to see it as a 10-inch pop. I would definitely buy that. It would just he would tower over the other Ninja Turtle pops. But so here he is, KRANG. So he's the little brain guy that's in the stomach area of this kind of robot suit. So they did a really nice job on this. You know, the paint is just kind of just right. It's not overly done. You know, it doesn't clash with anything. But it looks great as a Funko Pop. And then there's KRANG with all the wrinkly, brainy stuff on him. So unfortunately, he does not come out, but again, maybe that's a good thing because then he's easier to lose if he could come out. So here we have number 2 on the top 10 list, KRANG from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So coming in at number 1, now this surprised me because I'm not necessarily a huge fan of this artist, and I'm also not a huge fan of glow-in-the-dark or blacklight, but some pops, when they all just come together, it just sings. And this one sung. This was a clear number 1 for me. So number 1 on my top 10 list is the Fall Convention exclusive Blacklight Jimi Hendrix. So this is just an insane amount of coloring and psychedelicness that it makes sense for Jimi Hendrix. And so, you know, some of my beef with some of the Blacklights line is that it doesn't really make sense. It's just kind of a glow, and that's great. But if you're not into glow, which I'm not, it's not really my thing. But this is one of the few pops that makes sense as a blacklight. So I'm going to take this out of the box, but even the box itself is cool, and it's a blacklight looking box with the yellow and all the psychedelic colors on it and everything. So here he is out of box. Like, just look how he pops next to any of the other Funko Pops. Like, the psychedelic colorness just jumps out at you. So it's the same mold as the common and the other couple exclusives that they've come out with this year of Jimi Hendrix, but they all are equally different enough. And so that's usually a trap that I try not to fall in with Funko, is I try not to buy similar molds where they're just holding something different color, just a different paint job. So this would be considered a different paint job. There's a blue face version and a kind of a regular face version with a different outfit. And then this version, the blacklight version, all equally ownable, in my opinion, even if you're not a Jimi Hendrix fan. He's got the psychedelic pants on too. Just so awesome. So there you have it, number 1 on my top 10 2021 Funko Pop list, Blacklight Jimi Hendrix. So what'd you think? Did I miss any pops from 2021? Are there any pops that you think should have been on this list in place of any of these other pops? Did you like that I included honorable mentions, and did you agree with those? Make sure to comment below. I would love to hear your thoughts about your favorite pops for 2021. Hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, the Popthusiast, as I'm going to be posting a top 10 worst pops of 2021 here coming up soon. There were, as awesome as 2021 was for pops, there was an equal number to choose from that weren't that great. So stay tuned for that. Hope you enjoyed this video, and we will see you next time.